Alright. Hello. Yep. Working on the Molduga. Molduga. What a name. What a name. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Molduga. Excuse me. Are you going to eat that Molduga? Why, no. Help yourself. There's plenty of Molduga where that came from. Where are you going to vacation? Why, I'm going to the Moldugas. Yeah, I know. Cookie. So, yeah, making lots of progress. I was just watching Andy Mecca's stream. If you haven't checked him out, absolutely do. He does some really cool stuff. Robots, ugly tiki heads. He's doing some pretty fun stuff with an airbrush right now. So if you get a chance to catch his stream and you haven't already, keep an eye out for him. I don't know who's on, but hello and thank you. So, yeah, we're going to do some more just filling up some gaps, building this out, and then I think if we get far enough, might actually get a chance to, to put some skin on it, some more details. So let's cut some little bits off that don't need to be there. Yeah, I'm going to have to strengthen this one. So, just reinforcing some stuff. This is kind of a chin that got in there. I think, where is the page I'm looking for my reference? There we go. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, it's gotten kind of out of control with the, there we go. So where were we? So we're making this. We're doing something in between closed and open. So he's got just kind of a bit of a gaping mouth. But I could probably raise that up a little bit to give it more of a, that same look. Yeah, I think we probably could just give it a little bit of a lift. And then when it sculpts out, it'd be more of a kind of an open mouth monster. I don't want to put too much pressure on that. I think that'll work. Yeah. Alright, so looks like what's going to happen here is this is going to get built out as part of the head. The jowls are going to come down about this far. And we're going to do a little webbing around the edge of the mouth, right here. And then probably some of this is going to be the lower jaw. And it really looks like a lot of that. I should probably finalize this down into another shape. So this might be a little too much up front. I think the transition should have been a little bit sharper. So what I might do, let me see if I can close it off. Might do that, actually. See how far we can get with that. Might be a little too squared off, though. I wanted it to be more of a taper. But it doesn't look that tapered right there, you know? Right here. So if you look at it, it's just very fat. So could probably get that right about there, and then fill in the rest with something else. Feels like there's something it could probably grab onto there. And I think that would add a little bit of strength to that section too. So I'm not super confident in the strength of this. I think once everything kind of gets built out and I add some more stuff here, it'll be a lot more strong, a lot stronger. So probably a couple slits here, and then a little raised area there. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's mark off some spots. I'm thinking here. And maybe cut a slit in there and there. Okay, let's do some chippy chopping. I know I gotta keep this thing so high up because this thing is so gigantic. Probably the biggest project I've worked on, to be honest. I'm trying to keep a lot of these cords out of the way so I don't slice them all to ribbons. But, alright, let's see. So we want to get a little bit of this out. Right there. See if that's a good fit. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm liking that. So now we just slice this up so we can get that a little bit more squared off too. I think right about here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's cut a piece off of here. So, almost didn't even get to do this today because I'm out of glue actually, or pretty darn close to it. Very close to it. Let's get that a little bit longer. I think we can probably safely cut about maybe right here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'll work. I think I would have liked to press that down just a little bit more though. But I think that'll be okay. Yeah, should be okay. Alright, let's see how much glue we got left in here that we can actually work with. Looks like there might be some good amount. The little one's actually a little easier to work with anyway. So I'm probably going to put some glue there. So, you might be wondering why I'm building it out of foam. If you haven't already heard this before, I don't know who's watching. I'm gonna guess it's S-Rom. Let me see. Anything on this chat here? I can't see anything. Someone lurking around in there. I'm actually still watching Andy's stream in the background now. So the whole reason behind making this foam, just for anyone that watches this later and may not know, is this is a very large creature in the game. And so first of all, I wanted to make it to the scale of the figures that my nephew has, because this is for him actually. So that makes sense. And then on top of that, I also needed something that was going to be fairly light, pretty resistant to damage. You know, you make something that's big and, you know, I mean, yeah, I could have made this out of clay or plaster or something crazy, or fiberglass, who knows. But I want something that's, one, going to be durable, and two, going to be resistant to, you know, what a little kid might do with something this large when they're playing with it. And I don't want that little kid to injure themselves either. So it makes sense to go that route if you're doing that, right? So let me get some of this in here. Okay. Okay, I think this is kind of good. Let's see if this works. Sort of folding it back in on itself. Uh-oh. I need to put some glue down here, don't I? So if you've never used contact glue like this before, here's the way it works. It's not like crazy glue. Yeah. We'll use the drawings. So basically with crazy glue, or a cyanoacrylate, whatever you want to call it, CA glue, you have the glue goes down, here's the object, glue goes on top of it, and it just kind of makes a hardened blob. Oops, where am I? All right, so here's the surface, glue goes on top, hardened blob. If you're using a plastic glue or styrene glue for modeling, you've got the plastic, the glue goes on top, glue molecularly bonds with the plastic as it's kind of melting into it. Another piece of plastic goes on top, super tight bond. This stuff, it just kind of sits like a rigid pool of acrylic on top of whatever it's attached to. And it's tight, but it's not indestructible. If you've got two pieces that you're joining and you're putting it together like this and you mix it with like a accelerant, you can use a liquid accelerant, or maybe like what some folks like to refer to as baking powder, baking soda, any bicarbonate will accelerate the glue and allow you to make this kind of like hardened like surface that helps you bond things together. So the way this contact cement works is you've got, this is surface 1, this is surface 2. You apply glue to both surfaces. You wait for it to get just slightly tacky to the touch, like just almost dry. And then once it's dry, you put the two pieces together and they form a fairly permanent bond, at least with this stuff. So that's pretty dry. It usually doesn't take more than a couple minutes. And I'll show you here in a second just how tight this thing gets. But, uh-oh. Yeah, it's already sticking together in one spot. So I want to do that. That's good. That's good. And we want to wedge it right into there. looks like that's in. So that's it. We got it in there. Let's lift this up so a little higher so you can actually see what's going on. All right, so now we've got this kind of bonded down a little bit. And for those of you concerned about, yeah, that doesn't look super, like symmetrical and clean. Well, guess what? It's not an airplane model. It's just a very rough substrate or structure, a skeleton really of what's going to go on top of it. So it doesn't have to look pretty. The pretty stuff's going to go in the form of a skin that goes over all of this. It just has to be survivable. And that's my main goal, is to make this thing very survivable. So yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Uh-oh, got all sorts of other projects that are over here that I'm messing with. I've had to relocate from my garage, so because it's way too hot. So I'm trying to some delicious dried sausages. I'm trying to stay out of the heat, basically. Stay alive. Let's put this one in here. A lot of this I just eyeball. So, and that's mainly because, again, it doesn't have to be super perfect. It just has to be close enough. So if you're used to clean, you know, paint by number, everything's measured precisely, builds, this is not one of those. Definitely not. Quite the opposite, in fact. I do those kinds of builds sometimes, but this isn't one of them. So I got a little bit of glue there. And what I'm doing is I'm just smearing some glue on the other side. So I can go a little heavy here, just so I have some extra. There we go. To paint around on that. And then a little bit on this side. Smear that around. Get some extra stuff off of there. Sometimes I'll shake it around to help it dry. I'm a little concerned about this. I'm not really crazy about the strength of this. The thing what I might do is lift this up, cut a piece off, and then extend another piece all the way across. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do there. Give it a bit more strength. Well, actually, that piece will probably work. No real measuring here, just like I said, a lot of eyeballing. I'm going to go to a taper from here to here. And then I'm also going to taper that off a little bit. So yeah, that should add a little bit of additional strength there. Let's put a slight taper on this one too. Like I always say, you just gotta trust the process. I have yet to make anything that hasn't looked pretty much like I want it to look like when it's done. So there you go. And I really want this one to look like what it's supposed to look like. Pretty usually good at judging how that's going to turn out. How far out does that go? About right there? Yeah. Alright, so that piece we were working on earlier, this is probably nice and tacky. Let's get that in there. So I'm just kind of adding pieces everywhere I think it might add a little bit of strength to the overall build. That means doubling up or sandwiching stuff, and that's what I'll do. This looks good. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. All right. And I'm not afraid to use big pink scissors either. Razor blade's fine, but sometimes you just gotta chippy chop some things with the scissors and refine the shape out a little bit. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super perfect, but there's a certain curve I want on this and a little bit of extra stuff I don't want on this, so. Not exactly the type of pristine work I'm used to, but all right, let's see. Could probably get away with that. All right. So, I wonder if I could. Come back over it with this. All right. Looks like this is a little bit loose. Yeah, some of this glue is pretty old. Don't worry, I got more glue on the way. Not to fret. Don't worry. Okay. Let's cut this into a couple even more workable shapes. And I'll probably end up using every single scrap of whatever's left on this table to just add all kinds of little joins and things. Put this one down. All right, that's back together again. Hmm. I shouldn't have done that. Well, I guess we can wedge it somewhere else. Actually, you know what? I wanted to reinforce this right here a little bit. Or maybe over here. Yeah, maybe that way. We'll build that one up a little bit. Ooh, that's a nice long piece. Oh, where can I stick that? That looks like it'd be fun. Stick it in there. Or maybe to collar this section off. Well, maybe. But I think we're going to use this to kind of keep building up these cheek areas a little bit. Just a little bit. I'll make sure this is nice and solid. A little bit less. I don't want to do that. That looks good. All right, cool, Ezra. This will probably get a little bit of a trim with a Dremel before the skin goes on. Just a little one, just to kind of reshape a few things. You know, reduce some of these humps and these sort of jagged areas that stick out. That's going to be fun and super messy. And super hot. Super, super hot. It might be fun. Let's stick some of these big pieces up in here. So I think we could probably manage a few of these. I think I'm going to go with the thinner stuff for that though. So we'll wait on that a little bit. But I could kind of start the tips of them. So like for example here, let's say this guy here, we could probably go ahead and add that section right there. I don't know how that would work. I guess I go this way? Yeah, I think this way. So that might be fun. And then another bony protrusion up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be the little one that sticks out. And then it looks like it's got 7, 8 all the way down. So yeah, probably good. Let's bulk that up a little bit. That's some meat. Anything I can bulk up with the black foam, I won't have to sculpt with the gray foam. So it behooves me to get as far as I can with that. Lay down the groundwork for it, so to speak. You know, kind of feel like I might start the base of the jaw here, so let's do that. Need a lot of foam for that. Even this would probably work. So I think where the teeth would be mounted would be somewhere around there. This would be something on this side, a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that. And the tongue's gonna go over it too, so I have to consider that. I think that's probably good right there, actually. Just a little ridge to give me a kind of a working stopping point where I think the front of the mouth should be. Right here. I'll do that. Right about there. That's a good point for that little mouthpiece there. All right. Some of these odds and ends are really just gonna be, like I said, a lot of supports for just areas I want to add a little extra strength to. I'm using this as a little spreader to get some of the glue where I want it. There we go. So we're just literally using this as a means to give it just a little bit extra strength on that one little section. That's all that is. It's literally all that is. Like I said, just a lot of ugly bits inside. It's what all living creatures are filled with. Ugly bits inside and smooth stuff on the outside. Sometimes a little bit of both. All right. I thought about making it so that, you know, you could access sections of this, because it's, I mean, this is a lot. It's a huge creature, and this is a lot of what I would call wasted space. But yeah, the whole point was I didn't want my 6-year-old nephew or his mom calling me on a weekend and saying that they lost their car keys inside the fish and they need to get it out, like, or some other toy or something else that's important. And that's why I'm closing off his mouth pretty much from anything to get inside it. Because it was actually, you could, at one point you could put your hand all the way through into the stomach, but yeah, I decided against that. Bad idea. Yeah. So we'll do the spines later. I think we can start putting a little bit of skin on this section. This is pretty strong. I really got to build this up though. Guess I'll have to use some more straight pieces of foam. We can use these little pieces for these corner bits later. But right now I need to... Well, no, actually, you know what? Maybe I should save this and start putting in all these little extra supports. And by that, I mean like literally just going in and strengthening these little sections where, you know, it's going to need that extra strength. You know, keep it from falling apart. I mean, it's not likely to happen, but I'm planning ahead for the worst. I remember when I was a kid, I was pretty destructive. Which is not to say my nephew is, but I'd like this thing, you know, maybe 10 years down the road when he's in his teens or even his 20s, and he's going to be like, oh, you know, I still have that toy that you made me. It never fell apart. Because I guarantee you, if there's enough pressure placed on these joints, they are going to give. And what'll end up happening is maybe it won't look like anything at first, but if that internal structure starts to collapse, that external skin will start to crack and fall apart. And then you're basically left with a, something that's not in great shape. You know, I guess we could go this way. Oh, I did that backwards. Oh well, that's okay. So adding a little bit of extra support to all the little joints, not a bad idea. I've never been one to build stuff that was weak. I mean, if you're going to go through the trouble of making something, make it to last. Of course, there's also that use case if you're gonna build a model that's gonna sit on your shelf, you really don't have to take all that many considerations about strength. You know, at that point, I probably just think, well, I just want the paint to last a while, or I think a certain level of responsibility probably has to fall on the owner of the toy or model at some point, right? Like, well, yeah, if you leave it out on the street, someone's gonna hit it with a car, right? Really running out of glue here. I'm not getting anything out of here. Uh-oh. Oh, something just gave. The other thing I want to do is... there we go. Got some. I don't want to crack the thing and have glue leak out everywhere. Time to use my meaty hand grip. There we go. There's no escaping the meaty hand grip. All right, let's see. Yeah, that'll fit. Smooth that out, smooth that out, put some over here. I'm just hearing Andy in the background. It's like, yeah, what Robert preaches, like, yes, the words of Robert. The sacred teachings of Robert Talone, mold maker extraordinaire. I'm not knocking it. He knows what he's doing. That guy's been doing it for a long time, as long as I have, and he's been doing it consistently, which I have not. I used to like making molds, but yeah, he's got some really nice. If you don't know who Robert Talone is, go on YouTube and look him up. That guy has a lot of experience and knowledge about mold making and making copies and all sorts of materials. I think the majority of what he works with, I might be mistaken, but it's something like an RTV rubber with the resins, like resin casting. And these things are probably so bad for me, I'm hungry. Sausage. Mm-hmm. 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 Running out of glue. Where's my other one that's pretty much empty? That's a 2 ounce. I got a little three-quarter ounce because, you know, I figured it's small, it'll be easy to get in and out. I mean, it was, but man, you go through it quick.
If you have a really small project, this is probably okay. But you either need these 2-ounce tubes or a bucket. They sell that big jar with the little scooper paint thing. Yeah. I think there's a good piece right there I can put in. Little transition piece maybe. Right there. Here to here. Oh, I see. Okay. So we'll mark it from here to right there. A little bit smaller, 1/4 inch. Oh yeah. The hell? I'm not even going to repeat what I just heard. So the goal with a lot of these live videos on this Molduga build is eventually, what I've been doing is downloading them. I don't know if you're still there, Ezra, but what I'm eventually going to do is download all these videos, compile them a little bit, edit them, and stick them all on YouTube as a kind of like a finished thing. There we go. So there's that other element of this. So even though this is live, I'm gonna make a sort of condensed version of this, maybe 1 or 2 parts, so that yeah, that's good. Another piece here, yeah. So basically, there's a YouTube version of this also. I think I need to straighten that out. Yep, that's good. Yeah, anywhere this thing looks a little lumpy or off or not symmetrical enough for me, I'm probably going to end up sculpting it out more. You know, adding, removing material where I need to. So, yet another reason I'm not worried about how perfect this is. There we go. I'm really getting every last drop out of this damn thing. Oh, so I guess while we're waiting for that to dry, yeah, I'll probably be working on this guy tonight a little bit. Not with epoxy sculpt. The reason I stopped was I wasn't really liking the way the epoxy sculpt was working for me for this scale. So I've got a base, but he's gonna, and to remind you what this guy looks like. So we're off to a good start, right? Yeah, he's gonna be looking like this, but I wanted to get that detail with the green stuff. That was the whole reason I ordered this, not to make that little green, but to work on this guy. So he's next. And to give you some idea, this figure is to scale with this guy. So this is a typical Zelda scale figure. That's what I scaled this monster to be like. So in the game, this is pretty much what you're looking at in terms of the size of this thing. So this little dude, I think I got the scale pretty right. I mean, you know, that's a little dude right there, right? And there's the monster, and then compare that to this. Pretty good, I think. Yeah, we can work that all right. All right. All right, let's stick this on. Okay, let's get that. And that hooked on. I am so glad I made the decision to cut these holes in there. It just makes life so much easier. All right. And I also feel like I should put a little support down up in here underneath these to give them like a little bit of extra something. So let's do that. I can use some scrap for that. Just checking to see if I've got scrap. Ooh, this is a nice long piece, but not thick enough probably. I guess I could cut another piece. What else we got here? I think I got some pieces on the floor. Hold on a second. Yeah, there's a few. Vacuum my floor. Too much junk. Alright. Hercules Durkly. See if this will work. Let's get this one. About 1 inch should be good. Not to be perfectly straight. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can get this stuff on here. We're gonna probably empty this thing out right now. if I got enough glue in here to. Maybe. Let's do this. Let's try to put it on one of these little guys here. So what I'm trying to do right now is get enough glue inside this thing and across all the little areas I need to cover. I don't know if I can get any more out of it. Yep, one more drop. This might actually be too big, but that's all right. I'd rather it be too big than too small. Let's test fit it first. I'll test fit it this way. Yeah, probably gonna be too big. Well, I don't know, maybe not. All right. Guess we'll see. A little bit of an arch. I'll get it all the way to the other side. I'll take a little bit off. Right there. A little bit, one more little piece. And I think that'll do it. Okay, that should add a ton of support for that. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. And I think that's officially the last of this. Can I get just a little bit? Yeah, I might be able to get some more. Let's keep working it. Keep working it till I run out. I'm not going to waste any glue here. Waste not, want not. Anywhere I can add a little extra strength and stability to this thing, I'm going to do it. Any little, and you gotta have strong fingers for this. Yeah, okay. All right. Sorry, just looking at old Andy Mecca pouring his molds. Those conspicuously pink molds. Yeah, those things have turned out really good, actually. I'll have to ask him what mold material he used again. Might have to go that route myself. I'm just smoothing out these little edges here. Probably don't even need to. If it's a little rough, that's good. Just gives the clay probably something more to stick to later. Alright, I think we're getting there. I keep saying that. It's like, trust me, we'll get there. We're almost there. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Let's see. You just gotta keep going. Keep on keeping on. Mm-hmm. Can I get more? Oh, damn, this thing just keeps on giving. It's like the little glue container that could, right? Just really pinching the hell out of it. I mean, I've got nothing. I don't know how I'm getting anything. It's got to be just anything that's left in that cap. Yeah, I don't know if I can get anything else out of this thing. Alright, I think I've been frugal enough with this glue. It's only got, it doesn't have anything left to give. So we're going to call this one done. Well, can I force a little bit more out? Ugh. Got more out. Okay. Sweet. Oh, yeah. Alright, I don't have any fingers left to push any glue out. Let me see if I can get anything out of this one. Oh yeah, for sure I can. There's some right there on the surface too. Sweet. Alright, let's cap this guy. This is our only glue. I'm gonna have to scrub my fingers real good. All right, let's take a little break. But yeah, I know it doesn't look like much progress, but you know, it's definitely progress. Trust me. There's a ton of Ooh, that looks much stronger now. Yeah, I like that. This is much stronger than it was before, and this is gonna. I'm gonna have to cut a little more curve in this thing. I might put a little piece in here to like pinch it. In other words, you can kind of put a short piece in here at a funny angle, glue it, and then hold it in place, and that'll actually keep it in that angle, that sort of play spot. But I don't think it's going to really necessarily, might need it a little bit. It's pretty triangular, but also these two pieces aren't really perfectly aligned, but yeah, whatever. How close are they? They're not bad. Okay. Keep that one a little larger than the other two. That's fine. Alright, let's get that crazy view. So I think we're gonna try to lift this lip up a little bit. I'll use that technique of putting another piece off. I'm no EVA expert, and I actually got that from the guy at SKS Props, where the idea of putting a shorter piece to kind of tighten a curve like that. So another guy you can check out. He's on YouTube. I don't know that he does anything on Twitch, but he is on Instagram and YouTube. And I've mentioned him a couple times because I have looked at his videos, and he does have some really cool ideas. I don't think he doesn't sculpt models out of stuff, but he does make a lot of props for sure. Guns, armor, hats. He does some, cosplay stuff basically. I'm basically just using cosplay building materials and techniques to make models, basically. As far as I know, I'm the only one doing it, but you know, it's something. It's something, right? Okay, that's a little crooked, I think. That's all right. I almost feel like I'm gonna have to shift that over, but I don't think it's gonna make that much difference. I'll just build it and smooth it. All right. So what I'm looking at, just to give you an idea, is, I don't know if I can, God, this is really unwieldy. What is, I can't see. Oh, sorry. Oh, the camera I'm using is it's just my phone. So let me get this thing off of here. Probably just easier to handle if I hand hold it for this particular thing. So what I'm looking at and what I'm concerned about is the spacing here, from here to here, versus the spacing on the other side. It's not even. And like I said, I'm not super worried about it being even, but in that particular case, see how there's a lot of space right in here? About 1 inch from point A to point B. And then you look at the other side, not so much. Probably barely half an inch. So if you look at my finger, the tip of my finger is about 1 inch. And then over here, yeah, you're looking almost 1 inch, 1.25 inches. So what that means is the top of that helmet or armor plate is a little crooked.
See that? See the spacing here versus the spacing here. Let me hold it. There we go. So yeah, spacing on this side a lot more than spacing on this side. But that's not a big deal. I can build this up. It's not anything I can't fix. I'll just draw. I'm going to draw something on here so we can get an idea of where we're going to start laying down the skin once it starts rolling. I don't know why I can't get the chat to open up all the way. There we go. Something over the lens, but you moved it. Oh, yeah, it was probably my finger or God knows what. So what's going to end up happening here? Let's take a look. Let's whip out the old drawing. So if you look at this kind of like jowly cheek section right here, right there, and then this sort of big chin jaw, but you look down here and you look at the jaw, and the jaw kind of looks like it pushed into the fatty area underneath it. So that's what I was kind of worried about. So what this is going to be is the top part of this is going to be that jowly part, and then there's going to be some webbing right there, and then all of this right here, and probably, let's say, up to a point, is going to be that lower jaw. See? But I'm also going to use part of this area as that lower jaw, so to kind of finish that piece off like that. So it'll come down pretty big. The eyes are up front, and this is what I know naturally people are going to look at this and be thinking that the eye should be around here somewhere, but on this particular monster, the eyes are front and center on the front of this. I know that's creepy and weird, right? But there they are. Right there. Those are the eyes. Right on the front of his face. Yeah, it's just weird. It's a weird creature. So this is going to get built up. The eyes are going to be put there. All of this is going to be kind of like, it's almost like shaped out this way. I think I drew a picture of it before, but yeah. So there's a lot of opportunities to fix things here. And it looks like, if you look at the shape of his head, shape of this head is a little bit different. I think I kind of overdid it with the way these curved out cheek areas go. Probably didn't need to go that route. But, so I could probably thin that out a little bit on both sides. And I think that's what I'm going to do right now, actually. Is just kind of use the old scissors. That's going to fix a lot of problems, actually. Okay, let's see what this looks like. You gotta get kind of a bird's eye view of everything on this. Not as easy. I think we're doing good though. Yeah, it is so weird. It's such a weird monster. And then these little fatty. This is what I love most thing about this thing that's most. He's so gigantic. He's got these little fatty T-Rex tadpole hands and feet. It's like a big frog. It's like a shark made a baby with a bullfrog. It's just so freaking weird. Looks like I'm pretty much on the money with where these feet are gonna go. Looks like it's gonna end up being right about here. So they'll be glued right about there. If you're judging the proportions of this, where those arms are, it's just behind where the dorsal is and behind where this cheekbone is around that same spacing. And if you look at this, That's kind of where this little spot here sits. So what this will be is probably, I'll build it out a lot like I built out, if I can find him, if I haven't destroyed him. Kind of like I built out this guy's arms. I just made a little, and legs, yeah, basically just a little stick. And it's on there firm. I mean, this isn't going anywhere. This is going to be much thicker too. So it's going to be a little stick of EVA. I might put a little bend in it. So, you know, something like this. And it'll probably be about the size, judging from this, I'd say maybe about the size of my finger. Something like that. So if you can imagine his little, or even my thumb right there. That'd be his arm. And then his little legs are going to be back here somewhere. Oh yeah, where am I putting those legs? Where should the legs go? This kind of looks like a good spot right here. There's a lot of material built up on both sides. I think that's a good spot there. So, yeah. So, arms here, legs here. Let's go ahead and make a little circle reminder. L for leg. A for arm. All right, and then, yeah, we'll say the leg is right here. Looks like that's a good spot. I just turned to Andy talking about his airbrush, and he really loves that thing. He's got Harder and Steenbeck, Bach. Those are awesome. They make some really cool airbrushes. If you're into airbrushes, I mean, there's the American brands like Badger. There's a Japanese brand, a Pash, but I don't remember how you say it. I thought that was an American brand. Maybe it's French. I have no idea, to be honest. That's a pretty well-known one, but Harder and Steenbach, I don't know how you say it. It's a German company, and man, they make some cool airbrushes. They're so pricey, though. They probably I want to say they're probably in the $200 to $300 range for the standard model. They might have some less expensive versions. I don't, know all their whole line or anything, but yeah, those are nice. I saw Andy got one of those. I was like, oh, he's got a real swanky airbrush. Okay. I don't know if I should be cutting that section, but looks good. Man, I'm so tempted to just start slapping some putty on it. So I gotta wait for more glue. I'm gonna try to use up this glue right now. I need to keep plugging away and seeing how far I can get with this thing and how much stuff I can get on it. Maybe I can just smooth out some transition areas. There's a nice shot right there. All these ridges. So I think that's going pretty good. So we've got all this material built up here. It looks like this is such a ramshackle kind of. It's I swear it reminds me of some kind of weird corset or really badly designed medieval boat. like something out of a Monty Python film where they just kind of like, we've got a ship we're building, and you could just tell it's just not built very well at all. I don't know. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in there. All right. Let's put some sections in this way. Well, you know what? I could probably make more use of it this way. Did I? Oh, okay. I could have planned that better. Oh, well, you know what? I'll use it on this side. Oh. Whoops. Crap. It's like gold right now. Like, no, I can't waste it. Don't waste the glue. But, yeah, we should be good. Should be good. Feels like there's a lot more. I don't know why. I was like, there's no glue left the other day, and now all of a sudden it feels like it just doesn't, it's coming out. Maybe I just needed to leave it land. Is it not coming out now? What? Wait, am I on the wrong side? Oh. There we go. Oh, did somebody else join? Hello. Oops. What's up with this thing? Oh, did he? 175 pounds? What's up? Well, that's like, I mean, what's a British pound worth? It used to be more than $1. That's pretty pricey. I mean, that's still, not cheap. Oh, well, I say that, but I think 175 pounds is probably like something like $250. That's pretty good. So I don't know what model he got, but I mean, I think all of their airbrushes are probably pretty nice. I have one I like. I think it's an ES 270. I forget what the name of the brand is. It's a Japanese brand that's pretty good. It's pretty well known, and I like it. What I like about his that I'm not crazy about on mine is, and I've seen this on a lot of other airbrushes, is it has a removable cup. My cup is part of the whole top section. It's all one piece. So like if you've got an airbrush cup, I just love drawing stuff. So if you've got like your airbrush, right, and you've got the paint cup up on top, his is removable, which I really like because it makes it much easier to clean. Now mine, it's a little round one like this, and it's like literally all this is one piece. It's got a big mouth on it, so it's easy to get in there and clean, but I don't know. I just, the ones I remember using as a teenager and as a kid, they had a little bit of removable. I've seen the ones I think a Badger had some that didn't have it. Oh, with the compressor? Yeah, that is a good deal. That's a very good deal. I think I paid about, I want to say around $300 for mine. With compressor, hose, and airbrush. But I love my compressor. He looks like, I think the one he's got is kind of similar to mine. It's got a very large tank. You need that tank. I mean, the tank is what really makes the difference. Oh yeah, that's good. So yeah, if you get an airbrush and you're serious about it, I mean, get the tank. You won't regret it. It's just, it just makes life easier, you know. If your airbrush compressor is constantly like having to build up pressure, it's going to put a lot more wear and tear on it. Ready for it? Ready for what? There we go. Andy Mecha. Oh, sweet. Oh, I can hear myself in the background. I'm still on 80 stream. Hold on, let me turn that off. Jesus. Oh wow. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. Yeah. What is up, man? Hey Andy. I was listening to your stream. I didn't know you were wrapping up though. I just kind of had you in the background. I was actually talking to SRAM about air compressors. That's funny. Cool. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys are the same folks I know from YouTube or if you're all new, but I know Sarah. Hey Sarah, Darcy, Atomic. Yeah. So anyway, you know what I'm building. I'm still working on that accursed Molduga. And thanks, Andy, man. That's very nice of you to drop in. Holy crap, 33. I think that's the most I've ever seen in my life. Ever. Like on YouTube, Twitch, whatever. That's pretty awesome. So anyway, that's cool. Yeah, I'm building this big fat froggy fish dirt thing. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Let me zoom out. I don't know if you guys can see this thing. I was just saying, it's kind of hard to see from up close. So it's coming along. It's really, 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 really big. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm almost done with this sort of subframe. It's pretty strong. And then I'll be adding all the skin like I did with this little guy. For anybody that's been keeping up with me, the little foam stuff. So, hey, and you know what? I don't remember if you know if you remember, Andy. I was telling you the hair probably wasn't going to come out too detailed. It actually didn't do too bad. I was kind of surprised. The hair actually stayed. I mean, it did dull down a little bit, but it's still, for the most part, it's still all there. I also filled out, you remember it was kind of like teardrop shape? I filled this out a lot more. And yeah, I was kind of surprised. I woke up the next morning, I looked at it, I was like, oh crap, the hair's still, yeah, look at that hairy butt. Shaky, shaky. Yeah, it came out pretty decent, so I'm pretty happy about that. It gives me hope for this thing. I also did his ear. His ear came out pretty good. So I'll be adding hair to that, add hair to the face. I dug out his mouth a little bit, but I'm going to work on him tomorrow. So I don't know if Morgan is still on, but yeah, you get to see him. Yeah, so anyway, this thing is, it's getting there. It's getting there. I'm probably in the next couple days. I know this is probably the least exciting part for anybody to look at is watching somebody build a giant, dull, what looks like a badly cobbled Zeppelin. But yeah, once I start getting the foam clay on and sculpting out all the details, it's a really weird creature. He's got little chubby arms, little chubby frog legs, this giant fat body, and then his eyes are on the front of his skull. It's just bizarre. Really creepy eyes. But yeah, it's almost there. I'm probably going to lift this up a little bit to kind of keep that gaping maw look right here, so I can get that tongue out. I already put the front of where I want the jaw to be for the lower section, and earlier I was kind of drawing out. I was sort of drawing out where the that sort of cheek area is going to be coming down to, and then where I'm going to be building out the lower part of that jaw. The fish and stingray. I don't know that. Is it the Fish and Stingray? Is that a movie? I just lost a piece, actually. So yeah, thanks for dropping into my my little video. I've no doubt, and if anybody needs to drop off, I don't blame you. This is not the most exciting part of the build. It's pretty boring, in fact. But thanks for dropping in. That's awesome. If you guys want to catch up on this, you know, you can follow me, and at some point, hopefully, I'm guessing next week, I'll start sculpting on it. That'll be a little more interesting. Right now, it's just kind of assembling this subframe. I guess if you're an engineering major, this might be more interesting to you than, say, somebody who's more into the sculpting part of it. But even then, it's like, it looks very... There's a method to it. I keep telling Esrom, there's a method to the madness. Yeah, so Stingray was like Thunderbirds. It's an old school UK puppet. Oh, wow. I'm pretty old school. I know Thunderbirds, but I don't remember Stingray. Or maybe I do. Was that, when you say old school, do you mean 80s? Because to me, that's like new. Like Sesame Street. Yeah. Da-na-na, da-na-na. Yeah. I know that song. Cloudy day, chasing my cares away. So, yeah, that's got kind of like a baby back rib cage. Dorsal fin. Well, I say baby back ribs because that's what these remind me of. If they don't, you know, or lamb chops, lamb shanks. Then there's the tail. And I was just showing him too. This is kind of, I try to get the scale right. So this is the guy I started making, before I even started this project, for my nephew. And the whole reason I got the green stuff was to start sculpting this guy. I stopped because I didn't like the way the epoxy sculpt was looking as far as the fine details, and I'm just much more accustomed to green stuff for detail work. So that's the whole reason I got that, is this guy is him. And then when I decided to build this thing, at first I was just going to do it 2 feet, but then I saw the scale of the video game, and I saw this. It's an itty bitty man. 2 feet's not going to cut it. So, yeah, that's why I went this route. So if you look at it now, there's that, and this is more to scale, right? To this. So, yeah, 3 feet it had to be. Because this is 2 feet, and this is probably, actually it's more like 20, 24, 25 inches. So it's about 35, 36 inches. Probably once it gets that last little piece of bone, it'll be just about 3 feet even. Keep in mind too that there's going to be some foam building it out this way. This is not the final, obviously, look, and it's not going to be this black, rigid looking thing. I mean, this started off kind of the same way, just kind of like a little box. And if you go back and look at some of my other stuff I've sculpted with this EVA foam and foam clay, it gets really puffy and organic real fast. Stop bots, you're not that old. Oh my God. I'm half a century. Many moons ago, my people came to this country. No, I'm pretty young. I'm 50 years young. 50. Don't miss. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do here though. This is kind of like I had this thing scooping up. I noticed his jaw is pretty built out, but yeah, I don't know. I gotta create a quick transition for here to here. He doesn't have the tabs keeping him young like us. What are tabs? Tabs. You got me. Must be more of that young slang I'm not accustomed to, that all you young folks use. Tabs? No idea what you're referring to. Oh my God.
So that's another thing I need to do is the only reason like I said, I'm in this room. I'm in my office right now. I've got a little workbench in my office. That's what this is, which I also have my TV mounted to. Yeah, this is just my little home office, and this is not enough space to work on something this large. In fact, I had a space I built specifically for working on stuff this larger, but that's in the garage, and it's like 108 degrees in Texas right now. So, yeah, he doesn't have the tabs. I don't get you. You had to live through the 90s or the 80s or the 60s. The 60s. I heard it, but it was AFK. I'm real confused. I'm completely confused. Read me, reminds me of the fish. Nice booty. Yes, thank you. I know I have a nice booty. You're probably talking about the figure. Bots, no one was getting my Freudian undertones without you. Oh, yeah, making fleshlight. Oh, God, Sarah. Sarah's mind is in the gutter. You're gutter snipe, Snara. You're just a gutter snipe. With your mind in the gutter. Sarah smiles. Sarah smiles at pictures of naked people, maybe. Sir. Yeah, this needs some reinforcement in some places. You can see this is already this is barely hanging on by a thread, so to speak. So there's a couple little spots I need to probably fix a few things. I think I cut a really thin piece out here for something. All right. So I got this thickness, I've got this thickness, and then in between those two, I've got this thickness. So thick, thin, and very thin. And this is what I'm using to build it with. They all have their purposes. This is way too thin to use as it is going to be part of the skin, but it's too thin to have anything where it's just a hole underneath it. So for most of it, it's actually going to be covered with this. And that's primarily because I know this isn't going to be punctured easily, at least not in those smaller holes. And a lot of this is going to be covered by that foam clay. And honestly, I could probably start layering this up. It's a pretty good piece. I want to say this is a good solid 3.5, 4 feet, roughly. More than enough to cover this thing. So I'll be cutting that down in sections and adding it. A lot of it's going to go under here because this is just a wide area to cover and there's not a lot going on. Mostly just jelly rolls. The legs are going to go, forearms are here, and then the tail, little mini legs, little frog legs are going to go here. So a lot of this stuff you're seeing in here is just not even going to exist. I could probably go in here and actually do this. Let's do this. Just because you guys made me want to start sculpting something. You did it to me. You made me want to sculpt. I think, I don't want to bore everybody to death. What happened to my top? This is the only glue I got left, and I don't have a top for it. That's not good. Oh, there it is on the floor. Of course. Doses for sale? It's a mischievous smile. Oh, God. Mischievous. Let's get the good stuff out. I'm going to have to order a third tub probably for this project. I don't know that this is going to be enough. This is definitely not enough. So this is about a third of what I've got
or what this originally was. This whole thing was full at one point. But this might cover a small portion of it. Maybe I can do a lot of the head with this. But in general, I think it's probably too little. So I've got another full tub, which is I think 500 milligrams. And you'll get to see how this stuff really works. So none of this is going to be visible. I'm just doing this for my own sake because I think, even though this is going to be covered up, I kind of want to fill these cracks to give them a little bit more strength behind them. I'll get some water. So, we've got some water now. I was going to mention something that Andy mentioned. Hey, Andy, thanks. Thanks a lot, man. You're awesome, as usual. I was going to bring up something you mentioned a while back about, of nieces and nephews that maybe watch your show or might watch your show. So I found out the other day that my little nephew, the one that's going to get this one, suddenly has started watching me. So I've been a bit more careful about what I say and do in the videos. So I'm not going to tell you guys to stop, but I may not respond to you as much. Because I've never cursed in my video or any other video. And I try to keep away from the innuendo if I can, but you guys are grown-ups. It's a 6-year-old boy, so I'd really rather you didn't. But hey, that's your call. I just might mute you or not respond at all. But yeah, so I got that to worry about. So anyway, I'm just adding some water in here because that stuff helps this stuff stick to it. And I'm just putting little bitty blobs just to fill in some gaps. Mainly. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with the little tidbit of information. I was kind of surprised though when my wife told me that. She's like, yeah. So I was talking to our nephew and he was like, yeah, Uncle's, he's just posted another stream. I'm like, what? Hey, good night, man. Thanks, Andy. Are you streaming tomorrow? I don't know if you heard me. Is Andy streaming tomorrow? I know he's been streaming Fridays and Saturdays pretty regularly. I don't know if he's streaming on Sundays. Is he streaming on Sundays? I don't know. Anybody know? I'll catch on to his stream tomorrow. I'm going to be on YouTube tomorrow for Morgan's Monster Mayhem build, so probably won't be doing Twitch unless it's just another random Twitch in the middle of the night, which, I just like doing that. I don't like planning it if I don't have to. This one, I was going to go outside and work today on the garden, the yard for my wife, but it's way too hot. And some stuff I was going to pick up from the hardware store, I can't because, me, being the smart man that I am, I left my keys in her car. So I'm kind of trapped at home. And I'm not paying to drive somewhere or have anything delivered, that's for sure. So I thought, oh, well, I'm watching Andy stream. I'll post, I need to finish building this thing. I'll build it up for a little bit and see how far I get. I was actually getting ready to quit when you guys came on. You gave me the strength to keep going. I stayed East Coast Gathering of the Vibes, Max Creek. I'm not sure what that means. Yep. All right. See you, Andy. Have a good night. Thanks, sir. Good night, you, sir. Good evening. Thank you, as always. I think Andy's probably the nicest guy I've ever... I was going to say, he's the nicest guy I've ever met online. I don't go meeting guys online. Sarah, don't say anything. But yeah, he's just I think he's just a genuine human being. And those are hard to find, so... Cheers to you, Andy. This is my little Kool-Aid water. Because I still like the Kool-Aid. I did it. Grassroots is abstinence. I don't know what that means. There is something I could kind of do. I was thinking of building up this. I could build up some of this area. I don't know. I really don't want to, but I kind of do. So we'll just fill in some little gaps here and there with some stuff. You know, just for the hell of it. Just to give you guys an idea how this stuff works. It's literally that easy. It's just a matter of just putting it in there and working it around. And it sticks to this foam stuff real well. So if you want to strengthen it, fill gaps, smooth things out, it's pretty awesome for that. Like, see this little transition area right here? I can go back and add more to this later and get it all smooth and hunky-dory. Weird stuff, right? Yeah, I don't know. Let me see here. You know what I could start doing is for Gundams even. Use this for Gundams? No, I would not use this for Gundams. This literally dries like foam. I mean, it dries like foam. I don't mind cutting a little bit of this guy. This is not rigid. This is flexible. See that? It's not rigid at all. Now epoxy sculpt. Bing Sage, I didn't even know you were here. What's up, man? So this is epoxy sculpt. This is hard as a rock. Let me show you the difference. This guy I can throw on the ground and it will bounce. And I can actually show you if there's he's got a little bit of flexibility. See that? I can press down on this and he's squishy. Not super squishy, but it's like a hard foam. Right? That's my dog barking because he heard me knocking. Hey, it's just me. It's just me. Nobody's here. Come here. He understands English. I swear, one of these days I'm just gonna start off my stream in some other language, probably Russian or Spanish. Yeah, just to mess with you guys. Buenos días. Aquí tenemos la monstruosidad del Molduga por el juego Legend of Zelda. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if there are any Spanish speakers out there. Or perhaps some Russians. Govoriut Puruski. Chut-chut, chut-chut. Yeah, so for Gundam stuff, I definitely would not use this For Gundam stuff, if you wanted to, epoxy sculpt's pretty good. Green stuff's okay. Milliput would probably be your best bet, but this isn't bad. This drive's super solid. You can drill it, sand it, cut it. It's very, very, very hard, and it's paintable, sandable. But you can do that to this. But I mean, when this dries, it's literally just like foam core. I mean, not foam core, foam. So I don't know what I could really use this on, to be honest. I'm not at a point where I could do anything with it. Maybe sculpt out the inside of the top of his mouth a little bit, or the back side of the mouth. But how are you guys going to see that? Let's see. Maybe I could do this. You know who's got an awesome kit for, is it Chio something? I always forget his name. He's got like a weird name. He does really nice polymer clay sculpts into the mouth of the beast. So see right in there? I think I could probably get away with doing some foam sculpting inside that thing and not mess it up too bad. So let's do that. Let me see if I can set the camera up just enough to be able to see that. I'm trying. Uh-oh. Dad is the taco guy at the door. The taco guy. Uh-oh, hey, look at that. That's stuck. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting stuff, right? So, let's see. What does the top of the roof of a mouth of a Molduga look like? I'm going to posit that it looks like this. Let's put this in here. Oh, you know what? Let's get it wet first. Need to get it wet. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Needs to be wet. This is not the ideal brush, but it's the one that happens to be on my desk, so we're going to use the cheap hog bristle brush. Just to get a little moisture in there. Let's get some light. I feel like a dentist. I should probably put something there to cap that off, but that's alright. I think this will be fine. Moisture, a little moisture. Well, you know what? I probably could have used that whole blob. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, so first things first, let's get some putty in there to kind of even it out. Yeah, this is going to be a major build. All right. Yeah, okay, that's a good start. Let's get some putty in this side. You guys see this? All right, good. I might put a small, what do they call it? Amygdala in there. But we'll get to that in a second. Keep this wet. Don't forget, this is getting a tongue too. All right. All right, good. Might be time to use some tools. Some sculpting tools. Sometimes your finger just doesn't fit everywhere you want it to. Say nothing, Sarah. Terrible Sarah. All right. It's a start. I think what we're doing is we're just filling some gaps here, establishing some smoothness. Now keep in mind, this is the roof, and this is the tongue area, and this is the roof right here. So what I'll probably do is start arching stuff to kind of go from left to right. So let's do that. So let me flatten this out a little bit. Get that wet. And let's see if we can get our fingers nice and wet and flatten this out a little bit. And I think you'll finally start to get the idea of what I'm doing here with this giant black foamed thing. Yeah, the problem is when you're watching something like this where it's live versus like watching somebody like North of the Border who cuts out all the boring stuff. There's a reason he edits it and cuts out all the boring stuff, because a lot of the boring stuff is pretty boring. And this is kind of like, you know, for a lot of people, the boring stuff, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is just kind of give it kind of a more organic feel, fill in some gaps and smooth some things out to kind of give it more of an even surface to work on later. I can always add more material too. I'm just kind of smearing it out to give it more of a nice even look instead of a boring. So that's the roof. So I'm going to start moving my hand this way. All right. And we're going to put some horizontal lines this way. This thing right here is just a support for the upper lip, and it's going to be smoothed out like this stuff. This has got to be the weirdest position I've ever sculpted something in. You don't even want to know. It's like, this is so weird. All right. I don't know if that light is just right for this, but let's see if we can see a better angle of that. So there you go. That is the roof of his mouth. Probably good to see it shot right there. So now what I want to do is kind of smooth out some other areas that are probably going to get filled in with some of the other things later, but you know, whatever. I'm just trying to get it gummy and fleshy. So maybe that'll give you a better idea what this thing's going to end up looking like when it's said and done. All right. Even kind of has like little veins in there too, but this will look really cool once it's painted. A lot more weird. Trying to give it a kind of some depth by pushing further in the middle. I think that'll work out. I'll just kind of smooth this out a little bit. All right, I don't know. What do you think? Does it look like the roof of a mouth? We'll see what it looks like when it's dry, and we can start adding some more stuff to it later. But yeah, I guess I just couldn't resist. I had to put something in there. I had to feel like I was making some progress. Anyway, for those of you that made it this far and actually stayed to watch me get this gooey stuff on, thank you very much. Super thanks to Andy for having you guys come over. I know there's probably a bunch of other stuff you'd rather see, so that's cool. If you want to drop off, you can. I'm going to be wrapping this up because I've got a bunch of other work I need to work on. But again, thanks for those of you who stuck around and stayed and watched. And if this is something you're wanting to see more of, follow me, right? So, yeah. This is what you have to look forward to. Oh my God. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah. It's going to look cool. I think it'll look cool once all the fleshy bits are on. Oh, thanks, Mr. S-Rom. That's awesome of you to say. Hey, somebody else jumped on. Maybe I should stick around a couple more seconds. So anyway, if you just jumped on, because I'm about to leave, I just put the inside of the mouth of this thing. Just, something to start it off, to give it that sort of fleshy look. It's going to get teeth and some gums and some other jazz, but this is where we're at. This is where this freaking gigantic beastie is. Yeah. So he still has to get a little hump right here. He's going to have there's a blowhole on this thing, believe it or not, like a whale. So he's going to get a little blowhole right here with a little hump. This is all going to be scaled and rough and textured. A lot of the top section is going to be, well, I think is mostly smooth. He's got a lot of like very granular looking texture coming out right here too. I'm trying to use as little of this stuff as possible and as much as this stuff as possible. So next time you see this thing, most of this will be built out or covered with that skin I showed you. Not the gray stuff, but that thinner material. And then we can start applying all these fleshy bits. And he'll have his little chubby arms, his little chubby bullfroggy arms. Those are fun, right? But yeah. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Just gotta probably roll out some teeth tonight. They gotta be flexible. You can't have anything on this thing that's hard. It's going to a 6-year-old boy, and he'll likely want to use it as a wiffle bat. So who knows? We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks everybody for stopping by. See ya.